Guys, Deluded Gooner, Q&As again. It's Q&A Sunday. We have Q&A Fridays, but it's my personal favourite, the Sunday. Thank you for your questions, of course. Get more in, man. Let's get this thing going. Oh, man, what you guys have given me, you guys have given me a lot of questions. I didn't think I'd get this much, to be honest with you. Thank you very much. And if I've missed you out, I apologise. It was not on purpose. But let's not waste any more time. Q&A there. As usual, camera don't agree with me. But yeah. First question, Reese_Nelson61. This guy's got me, man. Damn. Zaha next summer, he's talking in relation to Arsenal going for him. No, to be honest, I mean, he can make the step up. Last year he was decent. This year he started decent. He's making a difference. But nah, man, to be honest, was a case for Arsenal and Spurs to look at Zaha. Nah, man, nah, that ship sailed. He can make a step up to who, I don't know. But we need, for me, I want a winger that's going to turn in productivity and performances week in, week out. The lowest I'll go is Mahrez. Now I look silly, I'm an Arsenal fan, we're not in the best of form and we struggle to get these players. But these are the sort of standards I'm looking at. Zaha's alright, but there's levels in this. No disrespect to him. But yeah, I don't think I'll take Zaha. Ooh, 3-5-2 versus City and match them. I'm going to go into depth with this in my preview and I'll even include a separate video depending on if it all fits in. But I'd say yes and no. That's the best way without spoiling it, bro. But that's a great question. Why don't our midfielders slot our forwards in? He's got another question. Many reasons, because our play is stale, it's lifeless. There's not really any urgency. We don't really know what we're trying to do in possession. It's almost like, okay, we'll go down the left. It's not working. Let's shuffle it down on the right. If we can't do that, we'll play in front. There's not versus City. They play very similar to us, but there's intent. They're trying to score. They're trying to go for the kill. Barcelona of old, not really so now, but under Pep and all these things, the same principle applies. And even clubs that don't necessarily play like us, the matter of the fact is they're all inspired and there's all a clear emphasis. Our play reflects how we are as a club, and that's stale, not going any places, and stagnating. Hope that answers your question. Jacob Durand, pardon me, papers ripped. Guys, so yeah, is it time Martial deserves a starting spot in the United team ahead of misfiring players like Mkhitaryan? Of course, bro, of course. I don't know what Jose wants to see. He's trying to do that, get a reaction from him. You saw him come off the bench against Spurs, make the difference. He scored a couple goals and assisted a couple goals. He's someone that's spoken of having mad potential. Yeah, he's making a difference when he can, and all you can do is take your chances. That being said, against Huddersfield, who was it? Whenever United lost, he was quite shocking, and I'm pretty sure he got hooked at half-time. But even so, that's his one shocking game throughout the season when he's been quality. So I agree, he should. Next question. Who would you give the Everton job to? Stop letting off the fireworks, man. Who would you give the Everton job to? Ruling out Carlo Ancelotti, as it seems unlikely and unrealistic. I'd say Marco Silva. Now, again, I can't see him leaving Watford. He started off well. He's got a good thing going for him there at the moment. I can't see him departing that for Everton. But I'd try to entice him if I was the Everton board with more money, young players to work with. Like I said, money, all these sort of things. It's a bit debatable, but better standard of players and things like that. So yeah, he could take them to the next, and also the carrot of possibly getting Everton into Europe and things like that. And he's done his thing at Hull. I know they got relegated. Doing his thing. I know it's early season at Watford, but probably him. Off the top of my head, I'd have to actually sit down and think. That's a good question. And every now and again, you guys ask me these questions I can't answer. Thank you very much for that question, bro. Ski. Well, them two questions. Jaden Sanjo. You think it's possible for any under 17 World Cup players from England to go to Russia next year in the summer? Well, if someone was to get mad game time and start playing, nothing's impossible. But I would say at this moment in time, or in October, that you're asking me this question, that's wishful thinking at best, bro. Hopefully that answers your question. At Mobay Guna, my guy. Surely you can't play Mertesacker against Man City. I mean, I agree, bro. He shouldn't be in the starting lineup for the last 2 or 3 games, however many. If it's up to me, I'm saying because of I don't know for Mustafi at this moment in time. I don't know for his fitness, but just based on who I can actually say is available, I'm going Monreal, because realistically he's gonna play. Koscielny, best centre half we have, and I'm going Holding. He showed up against Chelsea and he's done his thing. But you could make a case. I wouldn't play him, but you can make a case for Mertesacker because despite his deteriorating physical attributes, he's a leader, experience. Him, Koscielny, talk them through versus Holding was going to need to coach through. That would be my 3. But it's pretty likely Mertesacker plays. But we can hope he don't, I guess. Hopefully that answers your question. At JBeastie MSTS, I hope I got that one right. Do any of these England under-17 players have a chance of playing for their Prem first team? Well, they're not all in the Prem, like Sancho. He has a chance. Yeah, they do. They all have a couple chances. Like, right, for me, Steven Sessegnon, the brother of Ryan, who's doing a madness in the Championship, he's decent. A very good crosser. Foden's held in high regard at City, remains to be seen. The same goes for Angel Gomez. Nia Kirby was doing bits in pre-season for Palace. He can't be made his pre-season debut non-competitive. He might get chances. Gully could get chances. Panzo's at Chelsea and he's a young boy, so we don't know how that goes. Emerald Smith hasn't. I wouldn't put him in the bracket of Gomez and them players there, but you'd like to think he'll get chances at Arsenal. But it remains to be seen for all of these boys, to be honest with you. So hopefully that answers your question. Oh yeah, don't forget Latabaudiere as well. Again, he plays for City, but I do think he's a decent centre-half, and when he grows and develops a bit physically, he could be a decent centre-half. I definitely didn't rate him as much as I did after watching him in the World Cup. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Oh yeah, Loda, he's not in the Prem, but he plays for Reading. They rate him quite highly. He might get chances. So hopefully that answers you, bro. At VJ Pyro, good question. If you were one-on-one with Arsene Wenger and you could ask him 3 questions, what would you ask? Firstly, I'd ask him for the truth about the power struggle behind the scenes. I'd ask him exactly what's going on, who actually thinks what, who is actually saying what, the truth about finances. So that's one question. Secondly, I'd ask him, what the hell would I ask my man? A young player either he had or could have bought, not the typical that we hear, Ronaldo, all of these guys, but one young player that was at the club or he had his eye on that he regrets not buying, or possibly if they were at the club, not developing. And lastly, oh God, probably if you could do it all again, what would you change, or what would you or wouldn't have done? To be honest, that's a good question. I'd have to sit down and think about that one. You got me there, man. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question, bro. Skeet. At Bilal, where do you think AFC will finish at the end of the season, depending on if we beat Man City / Spurs, and could it be a turning point? No, bro, because we've been here before. We've heard this turning point crap before, bro. Chelsea was meant to, the point, yes, it's only a point, but that was meant to be a turning point. Obviously, we're hoping for top 4. We'd love to win the Prem. That's a myth. I'd love to be a millionaire, but I'm not one right now, am I? So yeah, that's a wish. Top 4, because we're not in it, the immediate goal. That's what you'd like to hope, regardless of them results. That is the target. And so, yeah, I hope that answers your question. As for turning point, no. Win or lose, again, the papers would write that it's a turning point, but we've been here several times, and then we go on this run, and we lose points we're not supposed to, then couple injuries. You know how the script goes with Arsenal. In a world of unpredictability, the one thing that is predictable is Arsenal will bottle. Yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Don't use this. Oh, God. That's a good question. If you were the owner of Arsenal, what would you do first? Well, that's a good question. Firstly, I'd fix up the backroom staff. I'd bring in scouts and players like that, people that are skilled with the contract business. I believe there's so much we can do in the backroom, down to even who is in charge of loaning out young players and whatever. Because the loan spells we pick, you look at Mavididi, you look at several players, it is pretty poor. So I'd fix up backroom staff from top to bottom, possibly bring in another manager. I'd convince Alexis and Ozil to stay. Yes, it's a myth at the moment, but if I'm a manager, I'm trying to show ambition, drive, get us to the place we need to. So hopefully I'd transmit that to them. Go for the aggressive targets. I'm not saying everybody needs to be world-class, but there's a couple players that we've been in for, like Lemar and etc. Well, when I say world-class, you know what I mean, that potential, that creme de la creme, yeah, guys. Pay the money. Pay the money. If I was in charge of Lamar, again, it was easy me being in the armchair talking this, but if I was in charge of that Lamar negotiations, he'd be an Arsenal player. They wanted 60 million, give it. There's no point giving them 59.99 and saying that it's below 60 mil, like what they do in the Argos catalogue. Nonsense, isn't it? So that's what I would do, bro. Improve the backroom staff, convince Alexis and Ozil to stay, bring in the more aggressive targets, or identify our actual targets. Do we want to get players that are in a similar position, like they're in the Europa League like us, like Lacazette was, like Fekir? Do we identify that? Do we look at players that are young or maybe not necessarily young, but with scope to grow and develop more? Do we go after creme de la creme players? Do we go after players that are experienced and they're getting eased out of their clubs? What do we do? I'd have a clear, or liaise with the manager and have a clear emphasis on what we're trying to do and ensure we're all pulling in the same collectiveness. And oh yeah, see Ivan as well. That would be one of the first. Hopefully that answers your question. And lastly, Alex Alert. What trophy would you like to see AFC win this season, excluding the Prem? Well, retain the FA Cup purely because like I said, if we were gonna have to retain it, we obviously are the holders, so I'd like to see that. Probably, well, there's nothing else we can win if it's not Prem, really. We're not in nothing else, so I'd say either the Carling Cup or the Europa League for the young players. But I don't really care about them two trophies. You guys know how I feel already. For me, it's the Prem or nothing. We're not going to get the Prem, so we might as well just focus on top four. Will that happen? For years it happened, and Arsenal showed last year that things are changing. It remains to be seen. Now, at this moment in time, it's a myth, but who knows? Anywho, guys, thank you for staying with me. Q&A Sunday done. Thank you for your questions. Like I said, it means a lot. Some of you really got me there. Get in the comments with more questions. Subscribe to the thing. Do the rest. Deludi Goon, I'm signing out, man. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.